Hello friends, so today we'll be looking at a very interesting and very important design pattern, which is the decorator pattern. So we are having a jewelry class which is having a price and weight variable and three methods introduced: get price and get weight. So these are returning int, and these are three classes which are extending from this jewelry class: necklace, earring and payal. So payal is an ornament in India. So this is a footwear. These are having their own versions of this introduce method, but these jewelry are plain and we now want to decorate them. So what we do is our jewelry class, we try to extend it and have more kinds of jewelry. So necklace with pearl. So earlier we were having a plain necklace. Now we are having a necklace with pearl class. Then a earring with ruby. So this ruby, pearl and diamonds are various decorators. So we are just having different classes. So this earring with pearl and diamond and ruby, payal with diamond, maybe necklace with ruby and diamond. So this is clearly a class explosion kind of scenario. Lot of source code, increase in lines of code, hard to maintain and whatnot. So let's try to solve this thing. We have as a first attempt a jewelry class, and this jewelry class is having some booleans: ruby, pearl and diamond and corresponding has ruby set ruby, has pearl set pearl, has diamond set diamond method. So these are basically getters and setters for these booleans. So you will be wondering why I have used has ruby instead of get ruby, because for boolean getters convention is to use has or maybe is. So like if you are writing a code for handicapped persons, so you are maintaining a boolean handicap, so you will be writing is handicapped, not get handicapped or has handicapped. So the getters of booleans may have special prefixes like has or is, maybe anything instead of get. So this jewelry class will take on the responsibility to introduce all contained gemstones. So it is maintaining these variables. So this ruby variable is true, that means this jewelry is having ruby. Pearl is false, that means pearl is not there. Diamond is true, that means diamond is there. So any of the class inheriting from this will inherit these booleans and can easily represent which all decorators I am trying to use. So we are just having three plain classes with these booleans to indicate the decorators. So this looks like a very good solution, but the problem is that we are forcing our subclasses to inherit all these gemstones. So if we are having a payal class, but nobody decorates payal with ruby, so but we are having these boolean variables in our parent class, so we are forcing payal class to inherit this ruby boolean variable, which is very wrong. So we are forcing all these subclasses to inherit all these gemstones even if they are not relevant or required. Also, any changes to these gemstones needed to be done in the jewelry class, which is again a violation of open closed principle, which is the O in the solid. Okay, so this code should be closed for modification, but if we want to add some more types of decorators, like next day maybe we want to add maybe a new kind of gemstone here, so that way we are modifying this code, source code, which can break things. It is not good. So let's look at how we can solve this problem. So we don't extend our existing class, we instead decorate it dynamically. Let us see how this magic happens. So this is our jewelry class, very simple. These are the three plain classes inheriting from it: plain jewelries, necklace, earring, pile. And one more class inherits from it. It is called jewelry decorator. So why it is inheriting from this jewelry class will be clear in when we look at the source code. And this pearl, diamond and ruby are obviously inheriting from this jewelry decorator, and this jewelry decorator is having jewelry as a component, so it's associated with jewelry. So let's look at the code to understand all this. So we are writing some code. So this is a simple jewelry class: price, weight, get price, get weight, and this abstract introduce method. Hence this class is also abstract. So we are done with this class. This class I have written, right? Now let's look at the other code. Okay, please bear with me while I am turning the page. So this jewelry decorator class is extending jewelry, but it's still an abstract class. So we have written this class also. So it is having introduced as an abstract method still. Now we are writing one of the decorators, one of the plain jewelry, sorry. So earring is a plain jewelry. It is extending jewelry and hence implementing all its methods because it's not abstract now. So it is providing its own implementation of this introduce abstract method. So it is just printing earring, and can be declared here too. So this is the jewelry decorator class. So this is having jewelry reference. So we are defining this jewelry reference in pearl class. This can well be defined in jewelry decorator. So this thing can be done like this also, means we are doing like this, but this can well be in jewelry decorator class. So you just follow this class diagram as of now. So we are just having a jewelry reference here, and this is our pearls constructor. So it is taking a jewelry object and initializing its reference with it, as simple as that. All the magic happens in our introduce method. We are calling jewelry.introduce first. So whatever jewelry reference I am having, I am trying to introduce it first. So let's say I am having a pile reference. I will introduce pile first, then I will print with pearl. It's my introduction. So the plain jewelry's introduction followed by my introduction, that is the decorator's introduction. So how client will be calling this? If a client wants an earring with pearl, it will be saying new pearl. It will be passing a plain jewelry, that is new earring, so to this jewelry decorator. So we are passing a jewelry reference to it. So basically new earring passed to the new pearl, and introduce will now print earring with pearl. That is, we have effectively got our earring with a pearl. So we are wrapping earring within a pearl decorator. An example in Java is when we have a file input stream which reads from a file. So it just reads bit by bit, but what we want to do is we want to read some bits and store them in buffer for efficiency. So we read chunks of data instead of bit by bit. So what we do is we wrap it inside a buffered input stream decorator. So this is a sample use case in Java core library. So let's now look at this diagram to make everything clear. So this is our earring with diamond and ruby. So basically the most external will be ruby. So and a diamond will be wrapped inside it, and inside it an earring will be wrapped. So external call will deal with a ruby object, which is having a reference to this diamond object, which is in turn having a reference to this earring object. So when a ruby's introduce method is called, it will in turn call this introduce method of diamond, which will use introduce method of earring, and these returns follow in reverse order. So this is the decorator pattern. I hope now this class diagram is crystal clear. This is Perl. It is having a jewelry reference, plain jewelry reference. So whenever you call any method on this Perl, it is first calling introduce method of the jewelry reference which it is having. So it is associated with that jewelry reference, and then it is calling its own introduction. So Perl will say to the jewelry, which can be pointing to any of the subclasses by the scope substitution principle. So its jewelry reference can point to anything. So let's say its jewelry reference is pointing to Payal, so that will print Payal, and then this Perl will print with Perl, append with Perl to it. So the whole output will look like Payal with Perl to the user. So this Perl is having a Payal object, and basically it is Perl is having its own functionality, as well as it is wrapping the functionality of this Payal also. So this is how the decorator pattern works. So you are wrapping the plain object inside a decorator, just like you wrap a plain thing inside a gift wrap. So thank you friends.